The year is 1580. Inside Topkapi Palace, the night presses on the walls like a weight. Drums sound from the outer courtyards. They beat at a slow, steady pace. Servants cross the stone paths in small groups. They speak in low voices. Doors that stay open most nights stand shut. Lanterns burn, but their light feels weak. In a private set of rooms, a woman sits near a lattice window. The wood pattern cuts the night sky into shapes. She touches the frame with her fingertips and feels the stone around it. She knows this place better than she knows her own face in the mirror. Her name is Fatma Sultan. She is the daughter of a sultan. She is the sister of princes. She grew up here. She learned her first letters on cushions spread across these floors. She listened to stories of old rulers under these carved ceilings. She knows the sound of the muezzin in the distance. She knows the sound of horses when they cross the courtyard at speed. Tonight, those sounds feel changed, even though they are the same. Behind her, a shadow appears in the doorway. It belongs to an old servant. This man once carried her as a child, when she woke from bad dreams. He has stood by this family for years. Now his hands sit tense at his sides. "Princess," he says. His voice is soft but strained. "Your brother has been named Sultan." For a moment, the room freezes. The drums keep beating, but they feel far away. The flame of the lantern bends and rises again. Fatma closes her eyes. She sees the boy her brother used to be. The child who hid in her bed when thunder shook the city. The one who held her hand when their father raged in the hall. She told him that good rulers protected the weak. She told him that power did not mean harshness, it meant care. She lets herself feel pride. Her brother now wears the title that shaped their entire world. She also feels a measure of comfort. She believes, for a short time, that this change will make her more secure, not less. Then she hears another sound. Footsteps in the corridor. Not light steps and soft shoes. Heavy boots. More than one pair. The door opens without warning. Janissaries stand in the frame. Their tall white hats mark them at once. Behind them stand palace officials with rolled papers in their hands. They bow because they must, but their faces show no joy. No musicians follow them. No sisters, cousins, or aunts come in with gifts or embraces. Only work enters this room. They begin to read. Her husband has a new post. The state needs him on a far frontier. He must leave at once. Her lands will be checked and measured. Some may be moved under direct crown control. Her rooms will change. She will move to a different set of quarters at a time the palace will set. Fatma listens and does not interrupt. When they finish, she asks a simple question. She asks if she may see her brother. One official hesitates for half a breath. That pause tells her more than his words do. The Sultan is busy with the affairs of the state, he says. He sends his blessing. They bow again. They leave. The sound of their boots fades. The drums still beat in the distance. The night air still moves through the window screen. Fatma sinks down on the low couch and studies her own hands. She understands what just happened. Her brother did not come to her. He did not send for her. He did not ask what she wished. His first act as Sultan reached into her life and moved the pieces around without her consent. Most people think they know what life in the Ottoman Empire looked like. They picture a sultan on a raised throne, dressed in silk and fur. They see guards in tall white hats. They imagine a harem where women rest on soft cushions with nothing to do but gossip and bathe. They see bright colors and smooth surfaces. They do not see the cost. The story you hear now does not come from visitors who wrote books to impress their own cities. It does not come from paintings that turned the palace into a dream. It comes from the way power worked inside one family, over many lives. It comes from what Ottoman princes did to their own sisters. Many people know one part of the story. They know about brothers who killed brothers for the throne. They may know the word for it, fratricide. They may have heard that a law code once gave a new sultan the right to execute his brothers for the good of the world. That is shocking on its own. Yet it hides another question. What happened to the sisters who watched those deaths take place? Think about a young girl in the palace. She plays with her brothers in the inner garden. They race with wooden swords. They sit with the same teachers. They whisper plans and hopes. She sees them as boys. The world sees them as possible future rulers. Then the old sultan dies. Servants rush through halls. Messengers ride out from the city. Each prince tries to gather support. Some stand in distant cities and wait for word. Some sit in rooms with their mothers and plan. The girl watches. It is not her contest, but it will shape her life. At the end, one brother lives to sit on the throne in Istanbul. The others vanish. They do not die on a battlefield where poets might sing about them. They die behind doors that close and do not open again. No one brings their bodies through the public courts. No one builds them grand tombs. Yet their sisters feel the change. They notice which rooms fall silent. They notice which names no one uses anymore. They notice servants in black carry folded clothes that belonged to men who now exist only as a line in a record. The new sultan signs legal orders to explain what he did. He says it was for order, for stability, for the law of the state. He says nothing about what it means to a sister who no longer knows which man she should allow herself to mourn. You might think the sisters are safe because they are not in line for the throne. They do not lead armies. They do not sit in the council chamber. They cannot take the crown from a brother. But safety is not their place either. They are daughters of a dynasty. They share the blood that gives a sultan his right to rule. That means their lives have weight. Their marriages shape alliances. Their words can move other people with less rank, but more numbers. In a world like this, a princess is not just a person. She is also a tool. Fatma learns this early. Her old tutor does not lie to her. He tells her that the state uses many kinds of force. One kind is iron and horse and gunpowder. Another kind is ink and marriage contracts. He tells her that princes move borders on maps. Families hold what is inside the borders in place. She remembers his words when her own match is set. Her father gives her to a high admiral. The man commands ships that guard trade routes and war fleets. The match ties the navy more tightly to the throne. It ties the admiral's loyalty to the sultan's house with something deeper than pay. On the day of her wedding, Fatma walks through a courtyard hung with banners. Musicians play. Women scatter coins and sweets. Everyone tells her she is lucky. She smiles because she has been trained to smile. She knows she walks into duty, not into a story of simple love. Her married life is not empty. She runs a large house. She supports scholars. She writes letters to her husband when he is at sea or in a distant port. In those letters, she speaks as a wife and as a bridge between him and the palace. She reminds him that his honor and his safety are tied to his loyalty. She also reminds him, between the lines, that she is still a daughter of the house that crowned him with rank. For a time, this balance holds. Then her father dies, and the old tutor's lesson returns in a new form. Her brother now holds the right to shape the paths of every man who served their father. He is young, but not weak. Years spent inside the palace taught him to read faces, tones, and tiny signs of doubt. He looks at the admiral and asks one question. Will this man accept my rule as he accepted my father's? Or will he think his tie to my sister gives him room to act on his own? The answer to that question never reaches Fatma as words. It reaches her as the sound of boots and the reading of orders. Her husband is sent to a cold and rough frontier, the kind of place where campaigns go wrong fast, the kind of place where the line between killed in action and sent to die grows thin. If he dies, people will say he died with honor. If he lives, it will be because he proved his use once more. In both paths, Fatma's own needs are not part of the sum. Aisha's life shows a different face of the same truth. She grows up in rooms lined with blue tiles and verses. She hears poets recite at night. She learns to play simple songs on a lute. She hears the whispers about past successions, but she keeps some hope in her heart. She tells herself that even if her marriage is a deal between men, she may still find some care within it. Her brother, Prince Mehmed, leaves the palace to serve as a governor in a key city. This is the old system. Princes learn to rule far from the capital. They command troops. They watch tax accounts. They grow used to giving orders and hearing yes more than no. In that city, one of the most powerful men is a pasha with deep ties to the area. He can keep the peace, or he can stop it in an instant. The prince needs this man to feel bound to him. He offers the strongest tie he has. He offers his sister. The match is set. Letters fly between capital and province. Dates are fixed. Legal terms are drawn. The contract is written in clear script. Aisha reads the copy that reaches her. Her name is there. So are the names of the men who agreed to the terms. She does not see a line where anyone asked what she wanted. The wedding day is a bright piece of theater. The drums sound, women sing, gifts pile up around her. The pasha stands beside her with a face that would look proud to modern people. She studies it with the eye of someone trained to see small signs. She sees something else in his jaw. She sees worry. Two threads bind him now. One pulls him toward the prince and the throne. The other pulls him toward his own long life in the city, among people who see him as their protector. Those threads may hold together. They may also pull in different directions. For a while, the knot seems steady. The province stays quiet. Grain slows. Letters praise the pasha's work and the prince's judgment. Aisha builds a small circle of her own. She supports a school. She gives food to the poor. She listens to women who come to her with their small and large pains. She begins to think that she has learned to live inside the shape given to her. Then rumors begin to rise. The pasha's name comes up too many times in tales about local support. People speak of him with more warmth than they use for the prince. They say he is a just man. They say he could rule even without the favor of Istanbul. These words travel. They always do. One winter, an order comes from the capital. The pasha must lead troops into a hard campaign in rough ground. Snow covers the passes. The tribes do not like outsiders. It is the kind of duty that can turn into a tale of glory or a quiet end. Aisha reads the letter over his shoulder. Neither of them speaks what they both know. This is a test. It is also a chance to remove him if he fails. He goes out as ordered. Soldiers march behind him. Standard bearers lift flags that beat in the cold wind. He does not come back. The official story calls it a brave death. Men in the city pray for his soul. His name is wrapped in kind words. Aisha sits alone with the empty space he once filled. She thinks of the nights when they spoke in low voices about small human things. She thinks about the times he laughed away court gossip. She thinks about the moment she saw fear under his proud face on their wedding day. She knows what his death also means. A line of notes on a page in the capital now has one less problem to consider. The pattern repeats in other lives in other forms. Huma grows up in a later time. The rules have shifted. By now, princes often stay inside the palace for most of their lives. This system is called the Kafes, the cage. It is not a cage of bars and locks. It is a cage of walls you cannot leave and choices you cannot make. Huma watches her brother pace shaded courtyards. He knows that somewhere in the same complex, other princes walk back and forth in their own small spaces. Each one waits for news that may never come. Each one knows that if he does become sultan, his first acts might involve the death of the others. A mind that grows in that space does not learn trust. When her brother finally steps out as sultan, he carries that training with him. Every man at court looks like a rival or a tool. Every request looks like a possible trap. That view of the world reaches his sisters as well. Suitors for Huma exist on paper. Their names appear on lists. Some are strong commanders. Some are rich landholders. Some are men whose families have served the dynasty for generations. On paper, they look like good matches. In the head of a man who spent his youth in the cage, they look like new wrists. So he says no. He does not always say it in those words. He tells his advisors the timing is not right. He says the man might serve better elsewhere. He delays, then he delays again. Years pass. Huma watches other women leave the palace gates in litters. Veils drop over their faces. Music follows them down the road. She stands at a lattice window and sees only the tops of banners as they vanish. But she hears enough to know that their lives will not be the same again. Hers stays the same. When she does marry, it is to a man whose main quality is safe loyalty. He is older. He owes everything he has to the new sultan. He is not likely to lead an army against him. He will not draw men to his side by birth or long fame. He is useful but not bright in the political sense. Her brother looks at this and feels secure. On the day of her small wedding, people praise her patience. They say it proves she is pure and wise. They do not say that the real reason she waited is that her brother saw her as one more piece in a long game he could not stop playing, even when no longer inside the cage. These three stories, and many more like them, show one thing. Ottoman princesses did not live in simple comfort. They lived in a field of force they could not see, but always felt. They had fine clothes, they had servants, they ate food many people could never dream of tasting. But their lives turned on choices they did not make. They were used to bind men to the throne. They were used to test the loyalty of difficult governors. They were used to keep powerful officers close enough to watch and far enough not to threaten. They also used as living bonds. When a princess married a man posted far from Istanbul, she did not always travel with him. In many cases, she stayed in the capital. She lived in a palace or a set of rooms near the center of power. Her husband knew this. He knew that if he ever thought about breaking from the Sultan, his wife's life would change before his soldiers could move. He did not need someone to say this out loud. The structure of the system said it every day. A princess might ask to visit him. She might beg to be near her children. She might ask to go to a city where she had built a mosque or a school with her own wealth. Sometimes these requests went through. She traveled under watch, moved in and out of crowds with care, slept in houses chosen for her. Many times, the answer was a polite form of refusal. The palace would claim concern for her health, or the roads, or the unrest in some region. The true concern sat at the center of every choice. A royal woman in motion could become a point where hope and anger gathered. A royal woman at rest, inside walls the Sultan controlled, was safer for his peace of mind. This fear did not stop sisters from acting. Some of them used the tools they had to leave a mark that no brother's order could fully remove. They created vakif endowments. They paid for the building of mosques with high domes that still shaped the skyline. They funded schools where children learned to read and recite. They built fountains that gave water to the public for free. Each project carried their name. Stonecutters carved it into marble. Calligraphers traced it in flowing lines. Every visitor who looked up to read the script had to pass their names through their own lips. These acts were gifts and statements at once. A princess who funded a public work said, without needing to write it, that she existed outside her brother's fears. She served God and the people as well as the dynasty. Sultans noticed this. Some smiled and took credit. Some grew uneasy when their sisters' names spread across the city. When that unease rose too high, the same old tools came out. Income was cut. Estates that fed these projects were seized. Trusted stewards who knew how to run them were replaced with new men who answered more directly to the center. The sisters felt the changes in very simple ways. Food in the kitchens shrank. New books grew rare. Some fountains ran dry. Some schools closed their doors. They also felt it in the faces around them. Old servants vanished. New ones came with careful eyes. Some spoke kindly, some did not. All of them reported to someone else. Most of these choices never made it into the grand histories. The records that scholars read speak in dry terms. They say that this or that estate changed hands. They state that a certain palace went back to the crown. They note that a marriage ended for reasons of state. They do not write what those changes felt like to a woman who woke up one day in a house that no longer belonged to her. And yet, if you step into the right street and look up at the right stone, you can still see her answer, cut into the wall in lines that do not fade as fast as ink. Her brother could shape her days. He could send her husband to his death at the edge of the map. He could hold her in a palace and call it care. He could move her from one set of rooms to another and call it honor. He could not reach into the past and erase her name from the stone she paid for. He could not pull water back into the ground after it flowed from a fountain built with her gold. He could not stop prayers said in a mosque whose doors opened under an arch that carried her title. That quiet fact sat there in every carved letter. It still sits there now, years later. Visitors who never knew these women walk under the arches they paid for. A merchant stops at a street fountain to fill his cup. As he waits, He reads the carved script above the water. The line gives a princess's name and the date she founded it. He drinks, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and moves on. The stone keeps her name when he does not. The empire shifts. Sultans die. New ones take the throne. Wars drain the treasury. Fire eats parts of the city. Earthquakes crack domes and shake minarets. Builders patch what they can and pull down what they cannot save. Old palaces change hands. Some fall out of use. Rooms that once held royal women turn into storerooms, then stand empty. Inside the palace, scribes pack records into chests. Some papers rot in damp corners. Some are thrown out to make space. A decree that once cut a princess's income loses its ink to time. A note that once ended her marriage turns brittle and breaks in someone's fingers. Outside, the mosque she paid for still opens at dawn. One day, a foreign envoy comes to the city with his own plans in mind. He wants to count cannons and ships. He wants to measure walls. A guide leads him through a quiet quarter and points up at an inscription. The guide says this place comes from the hand of a royal daughter. The envoy writes this down in his notes. He does not ask what price she paid to see her name carved there. In another room, far from the streets, a young clerk copies an old endowment deed before it falls apart. His lamp lights the page. He traces the princess's name, then the list of shops and fields she gave. When he is done, he stacks the copy with others and reaches for the next file. He forgets her. The stone does not.